Okay, well, hello everybody.
Welcome
Welcome
to
the
show. It's our singing episode, everybody. Every show has to do a singing
That's
episode.
right, every show has a musical episode.
When Bree sings, go with it. When I do, you're going to want to take those headphones off. You're going to... Thank you so much for playing along with that. That was awesome. We did not plan that. That was awesome. You played along. You were a great teammate. You are awesome.
Thank you. I pride myself on my improvised skills.
First rule of improv, always say
Always say
yes.
yes. Yeah.
Nicely done, huh?
Thank you.
Nicely done. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
the show, everybody.
Yes, happy 24.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Happy 24th episode into 24. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
whoa, there we go. Perfect.
It all ties together.
Yes.
I love symmetry. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We've had so much fun with this show, and we appreciate you being along with us for another Muppet Monday.
Yeah, we just kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like geeked out for a little bit after our last recording because
Yes.
we're just so happy. We're so happy to be doing this and for all of you guys to be listening with us and becoming friends and just a Muppet community. It's beautiful.
Boy, you hit on something really cool there. The Muppet community that I think as an older kid, I've been a part of that for so long and not knowing I was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been so wonderful to see so many people coming out and reaching out. I want to send a shout out to a friend of mine, Chris, who happened to listen to our Christmas episode about the Muppet Christmas
Chris.
Carol. And
Thank you.
I haven't talked to Chris in a while. Great guy, one of the more talented people I've worked with on stage. And he just mentioned how him and his partner watch the movie every Christmas and how much they love it. And it was just it was cool to hear from him, and it was cool to see how universal these movies are, how much
That's so sweet.
they bring people together, and even in like these kind of situations.
On that same note, when my husband and I were at his parents' house and we brought up we were doing Emmett Otter for our holiday episode, my father-in-law just like, he got excited too because him and his dad used to watch that every Christmas.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's just so wholesome to see how it spans over generations and just these special moments that they're irreplaceable, they're magic.
There's so many things that don't hold the test of time, that don't age well, whether for social reasons or just technological reasons. Yeah. It's just incredible how these shows and how the Muppets, like you can put on an episode of like one of the first seasons of the Muppet Show and still laugh and still find things that are interesting and funny about it.
My heart like swelled when you were talking because it's just like, it's magical. I can't find another word for it.
It really is.
It's beautiful.
And we appreciate you guys being along for the ride.
Yes, thank you so much.
You went first last time.
Yes,
so
I
I think
did.
I get to go first.
Yeah, your turn for the Muppet Fact / Quote
I
Hat.
have to admit that this is maybe my favorite part.
Really?
I'm such a nerd about facts and random,
I love a good quote.
Yeah. To me, a good quote is a story, is a short story. There's so much to it, and I think like a good piece of art that we all take something different from. You look at the Mona Lisa, and I'm going to get something from it that you're not, and you're going to get something that I won't. A good quote is like that, I feel like.
Yeah,
it's
I like
a
that
fun
a
part of
lot.
the show. This is a really good idea.
Thank you.
Let's see what we have. And it's neck and neck right now, so we'll see if we get tied after this. Oh, and we have a fact. We have a fact.
Whoa.
So it is tied up.
Wow.
Wow, facts and quotes tied up. Wow, interesting.
It hurts when I know it's not.
It does. You and I are very similar with symmetry.
Yes.
And it is a little uncomfortable. I do hope somebody out there is keeping a real tally, a real
Right,
tally.
yeah. When we're done with like this part of the show, before we move into like the next phase of what the Muppet, they're gonna be like, and just so you know.
As a side note, I've been thinking about this, and I'm so well done. I'm really glad you brought that up. One time, eventually, 100 years from now, this podcast will wrap up. We'll run out of names and everything. And Bree and I have already decided we want to do another podcast. We want to branch this off into something else. We hope that you guys will be along for that ride too. Yes. We have some ideas. But we'd love to hear from you if you have an idea. If you have a good idea for what we should do next. Yeah, either for that or for our up and coming Patreon that we are like slowly but surely building. Somewhere else going. Nice. Picking up what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that'd be a lot of fun to get your guys' interpretation, your feedback on that.
Absolutely.
We're definitely going to do something, and we got a while here yet. We have quite a few names to go through yet.
Yeah, some big names too.
Yeah. Wow, we have some iconic stuff that we have not even got close to.
We haven't pulled the big guy.
Yeah, the big one's coming. Yep. One of these days. But for now,
Yes.
we have this random fact. The famous old-timer hecklers, Statler and Waldorf, are actually named after two iconic hotels in New York City. However, the Statler has since been renamed Hotel Pennsylvania.
Oh, look at that.
So that's one of those facts I think when you hear out loud, it immediately clicks.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
You're like,
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
New York, biggest city in America, but maybe even in the world in some ways. In pop culture, I mean that, not necessarily like.
It's embedded in like everything.
Yeah. And because of that, there's certain things about New York you all know. You know this and that about streets or different things that I think a lot of us know just because we've heard it so many times in movies or comedy bits or whatever. The hotel references, I think, are there. Whether you realize it or not.
Yeah.
As soon as I was reading it, it clicked. I didn't know that before reading that, but I did.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you know that you don't realize you know.
I researched them and I forgot about it.
Yeah,
Until
right.
you said it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
That's got to be so much fun. I was a little worried for you about that. Like, did some of this would get
Oh, yeah.
old or something? No, they're fresh to you still.
Nope, like a goldfish, I guess.
Very cool. Yeah.
It just disappears.
Goldfish are awesome. There's nothing wrong with that.
Goldfish are awesome. Representation for goldfish
Yes,
on this
yes.
podcast, always.
Are there any? There are flying fish from what's his name, who we haven't gotten yet.
Oh, New Zealand.
But I don't know if in the Muppets there is a Muppet fish.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think that's one of the few animals they don't really have
Maybe
covered.
Yeah, maybe in like every once in a while, like the food talks.
Yeah,
sometimes. So maybe.
Well, and there's the guy who throws the fish.
Yeah.
Him. I can't think of his name, of course, right now
New
because
Zealand.
I need it. Yeah, I thought that's what you
Yeah.
said. Yes. Yeah, but other than that, I don't think there is.
I know. I feel like I can vaguely see like a really ugly fish talking.
Yeah. There's got to be.
But I can't pinpoint it.
It's orange. I think I know what you're talking
Right.
about. Yeah. I know. Oh,
He's somewhere in there.
He's somewhere.
Disney has lots of fish, but
Yeah.
the Muppets, they got a lot of pigs and chickens.
Yes. Good one.
Yeah,
Very good
very
one.
good. Ooh, all of the pressure. Yeah, maybe like it's fun to pick out of this hat, but it's pressure.
It is pressure.
It's
It
a
is
lot of
pressure. And don't you find yourself wanting to kind of like stretch it out as long as you can?
Yeah.
You can't help yourself.
Okay, let's see. We have a movie.
Ooh.
It's a good movie. Muppet Treasure Island,
Oh, wow.
1996, the year of yours truly.
Yes, yes.
Oh my God, Dad, we were just talking about Tim Curry
Oh my
before
gosh.
the show started, and now we pulled. That's freaky.
It is freaky.
Because I'm
and-
wearing a Rocky Horror shirt, so we just went on like a 5-minute tangent about how much we love Tim Curry.
We love you, Tim Curry.
He heard us.
He heard us.
This
Thank you,
is
Tim.
weird.
Thank you, Mr. Curry. Thank you. You should be knighted, by the way. You, yes.
I can't breathe. I'm so
Oh,
excited.
that's so awesome.
Oh my
Muppet
God.
Treasure Island, Gina Davis,
Yes.
Matthew Modine, I believe, or no, I might be thinking of actually a different like movie. Actually,
Let's
I'm thinking
pull
of
up the
I think I'm thinking of
cast.
Cutthroat Island.
You know that famous
I'm sorry,
Muppet
Miss
movie?
Davis. I'm sorry. I don't know if she wants me mentioning that movie. But yeah, that's.
I said yes too quickly because I can't remember like besides Tim Curry, I can't remember the other like actors in that movie.
Yeah, you've got David Getz is in that. I see, and of course my phone is acting crazy.
Take your time. We're all friends here.
So yes, Tim Curry famously playing Long John Silver.
Yes.
Which is so great casting, so good.
Absolutely.
It is right up there with Michael Caine as Ebenezer.
Yes,
It's
and
right
I
up
would
there.
love to come back to that and touch on that.
There, actually, yeah. Billy Connolly's in it too. Yeah, Pat Garrett, John Henson as Sweetums, of course. But yeah, I think Tim might be the bigger name in this one. Outside of that, I'm not seeing much else.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you've got your usual unusual suspects that we love, Frank
Usual
Oz and
suspects.
Steve Whitmore, and so many greats.
Yeah.
But as far as the stars, if you will, I don't see anybody else.
our friends at Puppet Masters of None are going to be pretty excited about this because I know that they love this movie.
Yeah, it's a classic.
It is.
It's, I don't know, like, just quickly randomly looking at the Rotten Tomatoes scores and that kind of stuff, which I don't put a ton of stock in, but I think it can be interesting for some stuff, especially the older the movie, to me it's more interesting. Newer, anything like basically in the aughts, I don't really pay as much attention to it. The older movies I find are you get a little bit more of a better...
They have more leeway.
And a little more of an accurate score in my book, to me. Not so much what I think, but more of what I think I've heard that overall.
Can I make a quick note about the Rotten Tomatoes? So I came up with a game that sometimes I'll play with my family if we're just sitting at the table and we're bored, where somebody will name a movie and then I look up the movie to see the score and everybody guesses what they think the score is.
That's
whoever
fun.
gets closer. Yeah, because a lot of the times it's a shock.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea.
Pretty fun. No cost. Just need a phone.
Oh, I like that. That's a fun That's very cool. It released on February 16th in 1996. That's kind of cool that it came out right around...
close to your birthday.
Yes. And I didn't want to mention that. I meant more Valentine's Day, but yes. It is a musical swashbuckling film directed by Brian Henson and the fifth theatrical film featuring the Muppets. It is adapted from, of course, Treasure Island. Yep. So if you know... what I like about this particular one, and some of the other, like Christmas Carol, when we talk about those, even if you haven't seen the movie, chances are you know Treasure Island, know the story of Treasure Island, so you can kind of get a gist of the theme, the plot of the movie.
Yeah, and there's other adaptations of the Treasure Island movie, like Treasure Planet that Disney did. Yeah. I love that movie.
I don't know if I saw that one.
I really think you would love it.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
It's so good. It's one of those very, very, very underrated Disney movies that just does not get the credit that it deserves.
We're just gonna have to put a Saturday or Sunday aside and just do
back
movie marathon. Yeah. We'll stay tuned for that. That'll be on Patreon. That'll be.
Going back to Muppet Treasure Island, I honestly, it's like a memory got unlocked for me. Yeah. I don't remember the last time I thought about this. When I was a kid, we used to go to the library, and that was the only time I really got to interact with a computer, and I really liked computers. So I remember getting on the computer at the library and playing the video game on the computer of Muppet Treasure Island. And I could have seen the movie. I don't remember if I probably did if I'm clicking on it and I just liked the Muppets. Yeah. I was probably in grade school or something. But I can remember just being on the ship first person and the boat's rocking and the Muppets are singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall or whatever it was.
Something like that,
yeah. That was one of the first things I thought of after Tim Curry when we pulled that.
Fantastic. One of of course, Tim Curry is the first thing I thought of too, and in part I think because of the conversation we were having, but even without that, he very similar to Michael Caine. I think in a weird way steals the show, even though I think on paper you would expect that. It's Tim Curry with Muppets. It's Michael Caine with Muppets. These are some of the legendary, greater actors any of us are ever going to see. You would think that they would stand out and they'd do a pretty good job working against, Felt. But at the same time, most people, especially kids, are not watching the movies because of Michael Caine or Tim Curry, if they even know who they are. Yet, even with that, kids come out of those movies loving those people, loving those characters, loving their performances. I will stand on this for so long. I sent Bria an article a little while ago from Michael Caine, and him talking about, they asked him his favorite role, and that's what it was, playing Ebenezer. It just
warmed my heart.
And I you and me both, because one of the things I really credit with actors is the performers that I've seen that have a career like that they've never phoned it in. Maybe they have and I just don't know it, it just doesn't show they're that good or something. But whether it is, a iconic role that they've always wanted their whole life, or it's being in a Muppet movie or something, because actors got to pay the bills too, and there's plenty of gigs. One of my favorite quotes, Deezus and Mero asked the Samuel Jackson once, "You've done a lot of roles. You ever done any of them for the money? Right away. All of them. Like, what are you talking about? All of them. Like,
this is a job.
This is my job. Yeah, this is what I'm working for a living here and everything.
I love that.
Does he do roles because, I think it'd be cool to be in a Godzilla movie, so I'm going to do a Godzilla movie.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, it can be both.
And exactly, it can be both. You can want to make a living at this while also
because you have to make a living.
Want to be an artist and
Yeah.
still be an artist with it. I think that I don't want to pretend like I know these people or anything. I've just researched and have seen so many interviews, and that to me, they're not phoning it in. They're giving their all to these Muppet movies, where you would think that it would be almost in their. Okay, I'm gonna bring it down a notch. Or I'm the
right. I don't have to give it my all. Like, this is a kids movie.
Michael Caine approached that really like he was doing this like it was theater, like it was big. And same thing with I think Tim Curry in Island.
Absolutely. That's a good segue into the point I wanted to circle back to. I can't remember if I heard this on the Puppet Masters episode of Christmas Carol that they just recently covered, and then also on their Space to Carol episode where they're talking about all the Muppet movies
Good
and
episode,
putting them on a scale. Yeah, absolutely. But there is a quote that I want to get this right. So Michael Caine approached his role in that movie as this is one of the most serious roles I'll ever have, something along those lines, and he's going to treat it very serious. And then Tim Curry on the other side of the spectrum said, "I am a Muppet. This is this is the role I'm gonna play."
Wow.
I just love that so much because I can totally see Tim Curry having that mindset. He's such a good character actor. Mm-hmm. It's insane.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start crying. I just love Tim Curry.
Well, I mean, we're rambling about two of my favorite actors ever. So you and me both. I didn't know any of that. That's really cool. I'm processing that right now. That's very, very cool.
I feel like I'm still catching up with the fact we pulled this and I'm wearing his shirt and we talked about it before the show. It's too weird. It's
Welcome
so
to
weird.
What the Tim Curry.
What the Tim?
Another show inside the show. Stay tuned for What the Hockey. That'll be after this. What I appreciate with these performances that we're talking about here, and I love that they're both coming up, and I love that we're kind of getting a chance to give credit to actors who do Muppet movies and do these cameos. I think that it would be a great episode to just focus on Muppet cameos. Maybe that'll be a Patreon.
Yeah,
maybe,
stay tuned.
With this one, I could see a very similar thing for Tim Curry. For one, yes, he is a Muppet. Just like you and I are Muppets, he is a Muppet.
Definitely.
So I see for him, it's not so much a matter of how much all I'm giving. Am I giving 100% or whatever? I am this. So, he's working with his people. I could see that part of it.
He's in his element.
I really appreciate when it comes to Michael Caine that you can bring that to a show like this, to a movie like this, that is going to be to a whole new audience in some ways.
Yeah.
I imagine not a lot of little kids see Michael Caine movies or see Tim Curry movies for that matter. This is a chance to be seen by a whole new audience, and you just never know, you might be creating a lifetime fan.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to be able to do as an actor.
Yeah, absolutely. So when was the last time you saw Muppet Treasure Island?
Well, I meant to mention that before.
Mm-hmm.
So this coming out in '96, I graduated in '96. Yeah. I'm not necessarily watching a lot of kids movies or Muppet movies or anything like that. It was probably the longest stretch I went with not really being immersed in that universe.
Yeah.
And to be honest, a very hard time for me. So I wasn't watching much of anything. I wasn't much of it. I was listening to a lot of music. I was focusing really hard on my life and trying to get certain parts of my life weren't working, so I was focusing on trying to have a career. And I thought if I didn't have a lot of self-worth, so I was focusing a lot on trying to build that. And I wasn't watching a lot of movies or TV shows or anything. Yeah. So it was years, maybe 10 years down the line before this was on TV. And I'm just, I haven't seen this one. So I watched bits and pieces. I've watched enough to pretty much put the movie all together, but I don't know if I've ever watched it all consecutive.
Ooh, okay.
And that adds to our list here, I think.
Yeah.
So that was at least 10, 15 years ago that I saw it on TV and that I've seen scenes since. Mm-hmm. with Tim Curry getting older and his health not being the greatest, and we wish him the greatest. We don't know what might happen in between this being released and all that. So we love you, Mr. Curry. And,
all the health and good vibes.
Yes,
and
sending strong positive vibes your way, sir. Again, you should be knighted. I watch mainly because of him. I came away from it though, loving some of the character stuff. Is this where you kind of get a little Rizzo? You get a little more of that.
I'm trying to remember
if I'm
that.
remembering right.
Could we pull up like the Muppet cast list of like who the Muppets play?
I think that's a good call.
So
starting to
I do remember like the child actor very vaguely in this movie, and he did a good job.
Yeah. That is Kevin Bishop as Jim Hawkins, a friendly orphan boy.
Way to go, what was it?
Kevin Bishop.
Way to go, Kev.
Nice job, Kev. Tim Curry as Long John Silver, Bill Connolly as Billy Bones, and Jennifer Saunders as Miss Sarah Blubberidge.
Yeah.
But as far as the Muppets, we have the Great Gonzo, Bunsen Honeydew.
Gonzo's playing himself.
I like that. That's fantastic. Mudwell the Mud Buddy.
Oh.
I don't remember that one. That's a good one. Gotta look that one up.
Kermit is, of course, the captain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Rizzo is himself.
Yeah. Beaker is Dr. Lively's assistant, of course, and Bunsen being Dr. Lively. We've got Miss Piggy as Benjamin Gunn. Fozzie as Square Trelawney. We think Animal as himself. Sam Deagle as Dr. Sam El Arrow. That's perfect.
Of course.
A little typecasting, but that's all right. And you got Lou in there as a crew member.
Oh yeah.
Statler as a figurehead.
Yeah. All of it. And then I know Miss Piggy plays. They're like on an island, and she's the queen.
It's just her voice, isn't it? It's it's her.
I think Frank Oz. I learned this on Puppet Masters of None. Frank Oz does the voice in this, but he has stepped away.
Oh, right. Yeah. Interesting.
So it's a different puppeteer, but Frank's voice.
Yeah. I wonder if it'll tell us here.
Yeah.
Benjamin Gunn. It looks like is the
puppeteer.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Possibly. I apologize if we got that wrong. I really do. I hate getting things like that wrong, and it'll drive me nuts when I re-listen to this. So if that makes you feel better, that's a good one. So should we get them into a situation in the movie? Wait a minute, no, we don't do that.
Nope.
That's right. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I forgot. Yeah,
No, that's okay.
We'll fix it in post. We do no editing on this show, if you can't tell.
It's just when we get movies, it's almost like we forget that we put movies in there, and we're like, oh yeah.
I also love that when we get movies, we also get completely sidetracked.
Yeah, it's kind of like a humble. It's a humble step down.
Yeah, it is.
The last episode, we were all confident, and then the puppet universe was like,
nope, you guys got too cocky.
Step off the pedestal.
Oh, here you go. Here's humbling.
I do love that we're not like, we're very loving fans. We are not experts by any means.
Yeah.
And I kind of love that. Because we're not like showing off our knowledge, I guess.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want that to come off like talking down to other fans.
Yeah.
It's more of like a fans conversation.
One of the cool things about that part of it, I think, that opens us up to be able to bring pros on, bring experts on, like the Puppet Masters have done, and some other guests that may be on the way.
That's coming really soon.
Stay tuned.
It's going to be really fun. We'll just do the rest of the episode like that.
Everything we deliver. That's I think part of what is fun about that we can bring that in. If we were pros ourselves, I don't know. Maybe you could do that a little bit more. I don't know if it would give you as much wiggle room in that.
Yeah.
So it gives us a little more chance to bring in people like that.
It's a different perspective.
And I would imagine that the majority of people that watch the Muppets aren't necessarily puppeteers themselves or immersed in that world.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, but I do remember enjoying the music in the movie.
Yeah.
And when we were talking with the Puppet Masters, just gonna bring them up every episode.
Yeah, can't help it.
Yeah, we love it. Will was talking when we pulled Miss Piggy. he was talking about how he loved that number that Miss Piggy and Kermit do together, and I'm having like little flashbacks of it. That was really sweet.
That's a good moment.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of good scenes in it, and I mean, as soon as we pulled it out in my head, I'm like, oh, I got to rewatch that.
Yeah.
And now I'm
absolutely.
being reminded why I need to, more and more of the reason I want to.
I love seeing Kermit as a captain.
Yeah.
It's very fitting. And he looks snappy in that little captain outfit.
Yeah, very.
Kermit. Yeah.
Kermit can pull off a lot of good outfits.
Yes, he can.
He's got a very wide range of style that he can pull off.
Yeah, it's like a little model. Maybe
You
that's why
wouldn't
Miss
think
Piggy
green
likes
would match so much, but it really does.
Yeah, it ain't easy.
Nice. I apologize. I wanted to ask favorite scenes in the movie, and I cannot think of a lot of scenes from it. I can't think of a ton of pieces from the movie. I know that I, as a kid, loved the swashbuckling movies. I grew watching Papa as a kid with Papa, watching so many of those Errol Flynn movies. I'm a sucker for anything on a boat in a pirate theme and everything.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, there's something about like a pirate-esque movie, like Pirates of the Caribbean, or wow, I'm blanking. I just mentioned it.
I don't know if we want to mention Cutthroat Island again.
Not that one.
Killed Judy Davis' career. She's an amazing actor.
Treasure Planet. That's what I was trying to think of.
You mentioned it before.
Yeah,
That's right.
There's something about those movies that it really takes you out of your everyday life and just like throws you. It's kind of like a Western where it throws you into that world and you're just immersed inside of it.
I was double checking when we first started the pod. Like you, I wanted to immerse myself more in the Muppet world and refresh myself with some of these things.
Yeah.
And one of the things I came across early on was a lot of love for this movie, and a lot of people celebrating the 25th anniversary or something like that. It's another one of like almost all of them. Like we're talking like almost 10 for 10. They turn into cult classics.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for different reasons with different ones, but in part because I think it's generational.
Yeah.
Like this one coming out in '96, the Muppet movie itself coming out in the time it did, it's going to hit different, kid groups.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's amazing that Brian Henson went forth, after he directed Christmas Carol, and he did an amazing job of that. And I think that was '92. So now this is like 4 years later. Like just hopping into that and doing another classic story and Muppetizing it. It's just wonderful, and what like a visionary after his father. Those are huge shoes to fill, like nearly impossible, but he really made it his own. I think that's really beautiful.
New favorite word, Muppetizing. I love that.
It's gotta be a word, right?
It's a great way it is now. It is. That's a fantastic word.
TM.
I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't imagine what it is like growing up with a dad like that, with a legacy and a legend like
and
that.
And that's your childhood.
Yeah.
This world that he created, you get to grow up with it.
Well, and to think of, like, you have these characters and you have so much already built in and so many, like, different, envelopes that he has set on fire, Jim Henson. The different things in the arc and different creative and things. And now as this kid trying to, okay, how do I keep this alive? How do I come up with new ideas?
Yeah.
What do I do differently? And not to say that using a story that is in the public domain, that is free to use and that kind of thing, that's something that's been done, sure.
Yeah.
But to do it back to back, and to do it so well back to back, to do it on that level,
Right.
and to really make it your own story, to really really give it your own spin and your own tale.
Absolutely.
That puts him. You're not going to be able to meet your father maybe in legacy.
Yeah, and I don't think that it should be that way either.
No, but I hope that he feels like he's held his own, like he has kept this going. Him and his sister have done such a great job of not only keeping it going and just re-releasing old movies or something like that. No, bringing new stuff, giving new material, pushing the envelope, trying different things. Whether they work or not, whether they're canceled or not, as far as the Muppet Show or anything, to me that's here or there. You got it off the ground, you got it piloted, you got it made. That to me is a win, let alone anything else that comes from it. And with so much of this stuff, while it may not be hitting right now as we're seeing, some of it just takes time. Some of these movies, they become even bigger later.
Yeah, absolutely, like the cult classic
Yeah,
you were saying. Yeah, when you said public domain, it made me think, I don't want to like make you the official, like, can you look this up? But maybe it would be fun to see what other stories are in like public domain now, and what we would love them to see the Muppets do.
So for those, I know this stuff from radio and copywriting and a lot of those things.
Mm-hmm.
For those that don't know, public domain encompasses those materials that are not protected by intellectual property laws such as copyright, trademark, or patent laws. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes, I think a good example is the Happy Birthday song.
Oh.
For a long time, you saw on TV show and movies the character's birthday, and they have a made-up song. And you're like, well, why are they doing that?
Right.
Because that song cost a lot of money. A lot of money.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And that's always interesting to me when you see that kind of done. Now, that song is now in the public domain, so you'll see it much more in TV show and movies and everything, because it doesn't cost anything to use it.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as public domain,
maybe like books?
Books, I think that's a good way to do it.
There's one that I know is coming into the public domain either last year or this year. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's a classic.
Well, Treasure Island is the first one that pops up. That's funny. The public domain books. Let's see here from big thank you to Goodreads. They're really good with quotes too.
Oh yeah.
I see Dracula in here. I see.
Oh, that would be fun.
It's they're not really telling. It's hard to see. Oh, Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre is in there. Okay.
So,
I'm immediately stuck on Dracula though.
I know, me too.
Ooh, H.G. Wells' A Time Machine. That'd be.
Ooh.
I wanna. Oh my gosh.
I've never read it, but that sounds intriguing.
Good book. Holds up.
Yeah. I want to see if the one. Well, they already did The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, they kind of did that one.
They could redo it if they wanted
Dr.
to.
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
That would be so good. Oh my gosh.
Now that's the one. I thought it was Dracula. No, that's the one.
Oh
that is the
gosh,
one.
that would be
that would be a lot of
amazing.
fun. That'd be a lot of fun. Some others. The Three Musketeers would be great.
Oh, that would be cute.
I mean, that would just tee up perfectly with the Muppets.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Who would our... Nice. Okay, I'll go first. That was close. It was tied, but I think you might have led me on that. You beat me on that. You gotta have Kermit. Kermit right away. I really like the Three Musketeers story. I think that's a fun one. So I think you have to have your collection
You
of.
gotta have the hero.
You gotta have Kermit. You gotta have Gonzo. I think Fozzie is a good one in there.
Mm-hmm.
Your iconic characters. I think have to be in these roles. But the Fourth Musketeer, the Man in the Iron Mask. I'm trying to think of who that would be.
There's a Fourth Musketeer?
Well, there's I think that they kind of incorporate, not the Third Musketeer, but he's kind of
he's on the side.
Yeah, sort of a side character. So
you know the story better than I do.
No.
I know like the Mickey Mouse version.
It has sword fighting. It has sword fighting in it. I'm a fan. I again go
Perfect.
back to the swashbuckling and stuff and everything. Just a sucker for that stuff. Those that's my choices. And I went chalk. I went very easy picks here. I didn't really overthink it, but which is weird for me.
I like that though. I think definitely Kermit for like that starring role. I think you have to have Gonzo in there because you need somebody who's like kind of a wild card, comedic relief, if you will, silly. But then I don't know. I kind of want to go in like a different direction, but I'm trying to think like who would fill that role well and has chemistry with those two characters.
I wanted to before I said Fozzie, I wanted to say Rizzo. But he's so little, and I hate to do that to him.
Yeah.
But I don't know how well he could handle a sword.
Well, I know you don't know this Muppet that well, but I think I would put Walter.
Yeah.
I think
Walter's a good
he
one.
would make a good.
I've done a little homework since on Walter,
Yeah.
and I think Walter would be a good one.
I can't wait till we do Walter because I love him. I think if we went in a different direction of having like women Muppets in the Three Musketeers.
Ooh, now here you go.
Miss Piggy, Janice, and there's not that many women.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or maybe and Uncle Deadly.
There you go.
That would be
Yes,
amazing.
yes. Oh, there we go. I think we got the cast set. I think we're good.
Oh my god.
If my version, I had Kermit as D'Artagnan. I think that Miss Piggy as D'Artagnan would be a good twist too.
Yeah.
I really like that now. I like your version. I like that.
I really like it, almost like a Charlie's Angels
kind
of thing going on.
Cool. I like it.
I like that. Oh man, it's gonna drive me crazy that I can't think of that story. They made a movie out of it. Leonardo DiCaprio.
The Man in the Iron Mask?
No. It's a different. He throws a party.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a Daisy character. Somebody's yelling at me right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're gonna be
yelling
both,
at myself.
This is my wheelhouse. I should know this, especially with his career because I've seen everything he's done.
There's that like iconic picture of him like holding up like the toast.
Oh, are you talking about the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Nope, not that one.
No.
It's based off of an old
book. The Great Gatsby.
Yes,
that's
That's
it.
it.
Okay,
Yes.
yes, okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah.
I could sleep tonight. That's it. I think that came in public domain either last year or this year.
Yeah.
That would be really cool to see. It'd have to be maybe like Muppetized, a little more kid friendly, or family friendly, I should say.
I think that would be a fun challenge to make that kid friendly, but I think it would be awfully timely.
Yeah.
With modern times and everything, I think that'd be very fitting. And we get to see Kermit in the suit. It's like you gotta have Kermit as the Great Gatsby. Yeah, you gotta have Kermit as that, and I think that is a fantastic idea. I like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde as number one for me. And mine is number one. I think that is number two now, and number three is the Three Musketeers.
Yeah,
I think that's right my list of what I'd like to do. If you guys looking for ideas, there you go.
Hit us up. What's your Muppet casting for the Jekyll and Hyde?
So I because I have Gonzo on the brain 24/7. I love the idea of Gonzo being that twisted character.
Yeah, I think it's almost like it's pre-written.
Right. Yeah. But that's the part of it that also put I want to push myself creatively. And so I think. I think it'd be kind of Miss Piggy is already a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, so I think that's a little. It'd be easy to see that character go into it. What I'd like to see is a one-dimensional character, a character that we usually only see just kind of one side of. In that part.
Right.
It'd be hard to sell if it's a lower character or a character that's not as popular, maybe. But I think it would creatively be a lot, or story-wise, it'd be a lot more fun.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I'm trying to think of a character that could be like erratic.
Yeah. One of the things that has really made the Muppets stay relevant and made it just popular with younger generations is meme culture. And certainly there's the meme of Kermit, the dark meme, and the good and happy Kermit. And so I think that's kind of fitting, where Kermit would be perfect for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with the meme thing, just because of the meme thing.
Yeah, it's fun to see Kermit like when his arms go everywhere too.
Yeah.
He kind of like loses his cool.
With Christmas recently, one of our tradition that my sister and I and my brother kind of have, there's a great SNL sketch of Christmas Time is Here with Horatio Sanz and Chris Kattan and Tracy Morgan, and we'll send each other the videos. I had forgotten that they did one with the Muppets, and so I said to Debris, and you hadn't seen it before. But you had the first reaction. I did rewatching it. Kermit steals the show. Watch it, and you'll see what we mean.
Nuts. It's like little Santa hats going all over.
It's so good. And then the puppeteer, I think, catches that's happening, and then starts to do it like go in, like lean into it.
That's amazing.
So great.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
I love Horatio Sanz, and I love his work in that. But Kermit steals the show.
Oh yeah, I think that he would agree.
It's really good. I think Kermit's almost perfect casting for Dr. Jekyll.
Yeah. Because
of the meme thing, I think, in part, but also we don't really get to see that side of Kermit. Kermit never gets to necessarily let loose like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's ever a time where you see Kermit completely defeated or completely edgy, completely like really out there.
Very true. Yeah.
Again, you have to make it kid friendly, so you're only going to go so far with it.
Yeah.
But I do think that's kind of interesting.
I think we could do it.
I just I love weird socks. I like fun socks, and I wear them all the time whenever I can, in honor of Robin Williams and of trying to lighten up a little bit. But I just realized these have holes in them. And I'm very embarrassed right now, and I don't know if it showed up on YouTube or not.
I'm sure nobody.
My mother is screaming in the back of my head right
Jimmy,
now.
how could you
do that? You're wearing socks.
We'll have to get you some new socks.
I'm getting on that. Yeah. We're gonna start a GoFundMe just for socks.
Right.
No.
Sock me, please.
Sock it to me.
Well, circling back to
Mhm.
Muppet Treasure
Yeah,
Island,
yeah.
I think that we should have like a movie night
Yes,
soon watching
yes,
that.
we
That'd
have
be
to.
really fun.
We have to.
Yeah.
We for one, it's work. We
Yeah,
have
it's
movies that we
homework.
have to do for work.
Yes.
It's homework, but also yes,
Yeah.
we just have to.
And if you guys have favorite moments from this movie, we would love to hear them. You could either DM us on Instagram or you could email us at whatthemuppet.
If
At
we
Gmail.
can get enough comments and enough feedback from you guys together, I think we could have a featured episode where we feature your input, your
Ooh,
feedback.
yeah, that would
where
be
we
so fun.
I do a little more of that.
Yes.
That would be cool.
That would be
fun.
really fun.
But
yeah.
you gotta chime in. You gotta give us the feedback.
Yeah, because we want to hear it.
Yeah, and you are as much of a part of the show as we are.
Yeah.
You really are. I
Very
don't say that
much.
in a guy. If it's corny, I don't care. It's truthful. Sometimes corny is true.
Yeah, corny is true. Thank you guys so much for listening and tuning in. We can't wait to talk to you guys again, and we have a lot of fun things in store in the very near future, so stay tuned for that.
I'm shaking my head because every time we start an episode or we're wrapping up an episode, I feel so humbled and thankful. Not only to get to do this with you and be able to have this time and these moments with you, but to have all of you along with this journey. That's so cool.
It really is.
I didn't realize that would hit me as much as it does, but every time we do this, it
I
hits
know
me
that
just as
feeling.
hard. It's really cool.
It
Thank
really
you.
is. It's so cool. For the video watchers, every time I look over at, we use my phone for recordings. Every time I look over at my phone, I just imagine all of you guys are there, and it's just it's so fun.
I do a similar thing being a theater person and doing so many shows. I immediately see a random audience out there.
Almost like the Muppet Theater.
Yes.
Aw.
I didn't realize that.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so
it's completely
sweet.
that. That's
I love
awesome.
that.
Thank you, everybody, for once again
Yes.
helping us find the rainbow connection.
Yes, thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time, Muppet Heads.
See you then.
Bye.